while Assad portrayed himself as a supporter of the Palestinian cause.
هو مجرد حدث في سياق طويل يعود إلى 75 عاما من الإجرام الصهيوني مع 32 عاما من سلام فاشل.
His regime's treatment of Palestinians in Syria says otherwise. The 1948 Nakba displaced hundreds of thousands of Palestinians. Many sought refuge in neighborhood countries, and around 70,000 sought refuge in Syria.
The city of Haifa and its harbor become the center of bitter conflict as the new Jewish state is born in the tense atmosphere of civil war. Haganah forces seek out every Arab, and barricades are set up to screen those who had not already fled the city. Everyone is searched.
Most Palestinian refugees settled in Damascus Alliance Quarter, formerly home to Syrian Jews who left for Palestine. Between 1953 and 1955, Ghappar, a Syrian body managing Palestinian refugee affairs and coordinating with UNRWA, allocated land for temporary residents, leading to the creation of Yarmouk Camp. By March 2011, the number of Palestinian refugees in Syria had risen to around 500,000. Syrian War. When the Syrian civil war began, several Palestinian refugee camps in Syria were targeted, with over 5,000 refugees fleeing a Ladiqiyya camp after a 2011 Assad's military attack. A report by the Syrian Network for Human Rights in 2020 highlights that these Palestinians faced the same severe violations as other Syrians, including crimes against humanity and war crimes. 87% of all violations against Palestinian refugees in Syria was by the Syrian regime. The report also highlights that, like millions of Syrians, Palestinian refugees in Syria have been forcibly displaced due to the regime's arrests, torture, bombardment, and destruction of camps in opposition-held areas, including Yarmouk and Dir'a. More than 91% of Palestinians in Syria lived below poverty line in 2021. Yarmouk Camp, home to Syria's largest Palestinian refugee community with 160,000 residents before the 2011 civil war, became a battleground by mid-2012, with factions clashing. As fighting intensified, the Syrian regime imposed a siege on Yarmouk in 2013, cutting off humanitarian aid and causing and leading to widespread famine. And in late 2012, over 1,270 Palestinians died in Yarmouk from starvation, lack of medicine, or the violence. An UNRWA report from November 2024 states that around 280,000 Palestinian refugees remain displaced within Syria, while 120,000 have fled to neighboring countries. An estimated 43,000 Palestinians were trapped in accessible areas within Syria, with their lack of nationality documents worsening the challenges faced by displaced Syrians, according to UNRWA. Civilians in Syria suffered years under the Assad regime, which killed, detained, tortured, forcibly disappeared, and displaced thousands. Israel's occupation in Syria. Despite decades of Israeli occupation of Syrian land, Bashar al-Assad has hardly ever directed his military power against Israel. Assad deployed massive military strength to suppress his own population. And since Assad's fall, Israel has launched more than 800 strikes on Syria and are on a land grab in southwestern Syria, extending the area under its occupation far beyond the occupied Golan Heights.